Hi everybody, welcome to TFT Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee, and this is me, Oberon, with my weekly show, Oberon's Outlook on the Emotional Exchanges, which is my weekly tarot forecast using the elemental signs of the Zodiac to give you a small but comprehensive reading about your week ahead in the realms of the emotions. So we usually start off with an inspirational thought for the day that I take from the Isis Tarot. So we're going to do that right now. And the Isis Tarot is an abbreviated form of tarot. It's about 36 cards that use some tarot images, but also some images that might be better known in other kinds of oracle or fortune-telling decks. So this reading is good for today. That's Friday, so happy Friday. And it's January 8th. Until next Thursday, and that's the 14th. And as you notice, my partner of the last two shows, Banshee, is not here. We're back to our normal schedule. We did a recent guest appearances on each other's shows. So I wanted to thank her once again for appearing here, and I hope she feels the same. So let's pull that collective card now. And it is, oh, we've had this one before. I don't know why, but we've had it before. It's the flag. That's number 7. So let me go ahead and get that and read our inspirational thoughts here for the week ahead, especially good for our emotional well-being, hopefully. Okay, this card is about those who may be fighting themselves in insight and evolution. You advance in every undertaking successfully once you understand that. Succeed in life, travels, gift of leadership, someone who wants to advance in life. That sounds like a flag. Alrighty, so hopefully that means something to you. I hope it has a resonance for you. And we're going to move on now to our reading. And we start with the air signs in the elements. Air signs that are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So first, we pull a card which is the word of the week, and that was Revelation. So I'm just going to leave that right there. And so Revelation says that maybe from an emotional point of view, something will be revealed to us, and maybe the idea that maybe somebody has been not telling you something that would affect you emotionally, like maybe, you know, that they love you or that they don't love you, or that something along those natures. So keep that in mind, that this may be the week where you will learn a revelation, and it's bound to be important. Hopefully we'll be able to get through that. So now we're going to go on with the regular part of the reading. We pull 3 cards for 3 different indications. So, for air signs, what emotional happiness will you find this week? We have the star, which is wonderful. It could be tied into the idea about the revelations, the word of the week. The idea behind the star would be that what brings us our happiness this week is a sign of hope, a sign of inspiration, that maybe something has really finally revealed its destiny to us, or that we understand our role in this destiny. What emotional challenges or surprises will you face this week? And here we have the Prince, also known as the Knight of Swords. And I'll leave that right there. It's reversed. So what challenges or surprises us perhaps is that if we are trying emotionally to force our way with certain things, if we're being a bully, if we're being strong in our arguments and kind of browbeating a little bit, this will not really work for us. This will probably cause more damage, and This is our challenge, perhaps, air signs, is to realize that although you may be the master of arguments, the mental element with air signs, this is something that maybe you need to surrender to, something a little bit more emotionally compassionate. This is your challenge, is to solve certain situations in a better way than just with force. So then finally, what will concern the other relationships in our lives this week, be they romantic, platonic, co-workers, that sort of thing. And we have another sword card, another court sword card, and that's the Queen of Swords. And so it may be that what will affect others, it could be all those, it could be mostly just one of those, will be that there's something coming to them where they may have to make an important decision about where they stand with you emotionally. That maybe, and it could be tied in together, that maybe some people may feel that as we go through this week and we understand the revelations coming to us, and we understand possibly the effects of trying to force our way, that some people may make a stand, may make a line in the sand, and may choose to either be on our side or to not. So watch for that, air signs. It looks like an interesting week with thoughts and judgments and decisions going around. So that's what I have for the air signs. And we're going to move on now to the fire signs. Fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And their word of the week is perplexity. And so I think that this would suggest to us that fire signs are going to be perplexed about certain emotional qualities going on around them. It may very likely be that they just don't understand why they're feeling emotionally strong about something. But I think it's more likely that fire signs, given how I understand them, would more likely be perplexed by other people's emotions, most likely in regard to them. Like maybe somebody, and this kind of draws a little bit from the air sign thing, that maybe there's just some sort of differentiation in the air between some folks. And that maybe now is a time, we're going through some really divisive times for some people. There's clearly more than two ways for people to react. The third way, sadly, is often just to withdraw. But I don't know that this is what's going on. It just could very well be that others' emotions will be perplexing to us. Fire signs. So now we're going to go ahead with our reading. Remind everybody that my fire sign, the Banshee, has a show called Banshee's Material Matters, which is on Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on our YouTube channel. Just thought I wanted to give it one last little riffle here. And then our cut. Fire signs, what emotional happiness will you find this week? It's the 10 of discs and it's reversed. So it may be that we're happy because maybe there's something that's changing in the family structure. And this is not from the emotional family structure, but maybe this is more about foundational things. This may be where you sit in relationship to your order in the family order, or where you fit in maybe with this the sense of how you're provided for. Are you the person who provides for the family, or is a mutual structure where everybody kind of works together to help everybody? But it may be that what is happy for you is that there is a change here in the family structure. It may be that you're liberated from certain obligations or responsibilities, or maybe you may find that certain things that are materially contingent will change a little bit and won't be as important. So it may be that certain people may find, fire signs may find that maybe some of the financial obligations that involve their family will change, and that will probably please them because maybe it just lightens up the financial load. I'm sort of thinking that's kind of what's going on with that card. Hey, that would make me happy to loosen up some of my financial obligations. So now, what will the emotional challenges or surprises be that you face this week? And it's the King of Cups, and that's very appropriate here, I suppose, because the King of Cups seems to me to indicate that the challenge or the surprise is maybe you have to understand, the amount of love you have to give to people has to be pragmatic, but also has to be all-encompassing. You have to be the king. You can't necessarily play favorites. You have to be a king for all people. And you have to be the King of Cups for all people. And that means somebody who is a benefactor, somebody who's a counselor, somebody who sort of has the connotations of trusted friend, wise ruler type person. You have to help people who may have more emotional problems than you will this week, fire signs, and you have to be kind and generous in how you do that. Finally, what will concern all of these other relationships that we may be the king over in our lives, whether they're the platonic relationships or co-workers, romantic, family people, others, and it's the Empress. And it could be very well that these other folks really want to be the corollary to you as the king of cups here. The Empress is kind of like the nurturing mom, so maybe expect somebody who is in your closest emotional relationships to respond to what your happiness is. You've changed something in your life. Maybe this helps those empresses in your life too to be more productive, to not also have that sense of obligation. And so with that, they want to respond to you as that Empress kind of personality or energy, that thing that sort of says, let's build, let's create stuff, let's be Mother Nature. But it only happens because you kind of radiate some of that love, that you learn how to spread love to everybody. And so I think that's kind of interesting. I like that. Those around you will really want to magnify back to you what they are perceiving from you. So that's what I have for the fire signs. I hope that works out for you guys because it sounds pretty splendid. So now we're going to move on to the water signs. And water signs are like me, either a Cancer, a Scorpio, or a Pisces. They just tend to be a little bit more fluid emotionally at any rate. And so their word of the week is duplicity. And I'm thinking that maybe in a way similar to the fire signs who had perplexity, water signs are going to be looking not so much at their own emotions that they're feeling. You could feel you've been duplicitous with yourself, that you've been trying to ignore certain things within yourself, or you've been trying to enact another way of looking at things. But more likely, this is talking about what else is going around you, your friends, your emotional feelings about other people, or about how those things are coming to you, that you may feel there's duplicity in the air. You may feel that maybe people are trying to win you over emotionally, and you question, if there's an agenda there, if you question if it's really true. You're questioning people's emotionality most likely, and whether or not it's really true. Kind of serious. So now we're going to go on and go ahead with the rest of the reading. And just a reminder, but you can see on our stream schedule below when we're on again live for live free readings. Those are short readings. That's on Thursdays in the evening and Sunday afternoons. So we hope you like those. We hope you subscribe to our YouTube channel. I got a couple of new things coming out very soon. I'll tell you about that right after this reading. I don't want to distract my attention from the rest of the water signs readings. Alrighty. What emotional happiness will you find this week? Water signs. Perhaps quite a bit. You have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is a very good sign of emotional happiness. It really basically means you get your wish, you get a lot of contentment, something works out very well. The things that you enjoy most in life, not only do they feel right for you, but they don't seem to cause any unintended consequences or side effects. So then what challenges or surprises will you face this week, water signs? And you have Death upright. Major Arcana 13. Well, isn't that something? You have a strong chance here that your challenge, your surprise is very big change. Things could be very transformative this week for you. I can't see that this could be necessarily in any other area other than the emotions, because that's what this reading is about. So I think you are bound to expect a big change in what's going on in your overall emotional life. Don't be surprised if people move, change their minds about a lot of things. On the bad end of things, maybe there are some breakups involved. On the better end of things, maybe there is the most wonderful news that, new love could use. So it's a little interesting. I almost want to draw another card on it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just go on to the third card, which is what will concern these other relationships in your lives, whether they are emotional primary relationships, whether they're family, co-workers, other friends, other family, platonic. And you have the High Priestess reversed. And I think, like the last card, perhaps there's a saying that somebody within the court of your emotional relationships, the folks that you have feelings for, there could be situations where people are really struggling with what they understand. It may be that they're not able to accept a certain wisdom or certain knowledge that they're feeling. It could be related to that change. Maybe the change is so profound that it is really challenging somebody's basic wisdoms or attitudes about life. I mean, the High Priestess really could talk about a lot of that. It certainly talks about what is within the mind as well as within the soul. It's so big. I mean, it's really wisdom at a number of levels. And when it's reversed, I get the feeling like it's saying somebody's world is really rocked. And when I look at the Nine of Cups and the Death card, I'm thinking like this may be that what water signs have changes them so profoundly that perhaps others around them don't get it, or they're having a hard time relating to that. And I wonder if our old friend, the Duplicity card, maybe some big revelations are about to come out for water signs, and this really will change what goes on for them. So that's what I have for the water signs. So I wanted to take a moment and just mention that starting next Wednesday, the 13th, I'm doing a very short, it's probably going to be about 10 or 12 minutes long, new show, not a live show, but just another show like this. It'll be on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's called Goth Tarot, and it basically will be a look at some of the more shadow, darker aspects of our lives. So check that out. I think I have a few promos out there going on for it, so you can check that out. It's on our YouTube channel next week. Also, too, on Thursdays, as you may have saw from yesterday, I am doing the similar to Banshee, an oracle or card pull of the day that's in relationship to our regular card of the day, but this one is a specific theme, and I'm calling it Thoughts for Thursday. And I'm using the Thoth Aleister Crowley deck, which has a number of descriptive words on them. So basically it'll be a shuffle, pull, post that picture, and a short description of what I think that card means. What is Thoth's thoughts for Thursday? So I hope you check those out too. So let's go on now to our final part of the reading, the Earth signs. And Earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And their word of the week is desolation. And from an emotional point of view, I would imagine that Earth signs are going to have to feel that there's a lot of loneliness for them this week. It may be that some things have happened in your life and that you are on a lockdown, a quarantine, or maybe you are remote for certain reasons. Maybe you already are working from home, but maybe there's an extra caveat going on there. So I'm thinking most likely that's what it is, but I want you to consider the fact that there will be some feelings of desolation. They could also not be related to being alone, but just about the status of the world, things that are going on. There's so many different implications with health and world peace and various tensions everywhere. So I'm just going to leave it at that and say certainly Earth signs, you may feel not necessarily alone in this. So let's get on to do the regular part of the reading, the rest of the reading, that is. Excuse me. Hopefully I can do it without too much of a dry throat here. Excuse me. So what emotional happiness will the Earth signs face this week? And we have the Two of Swords, and it's reversed. Two of Swords reversed. Perhaps Earth signs, from an emotional point of view, you've made a decision about something. You may have been confronted with more than one thing that you really cared about, but there was only one way for this to be accomplished. And up until now, you've been kind of hoping that something would maybe just pop out. Maybe that has happened. Or at any rate, you have made a choice and you've decided to move ahead with one of those options, perhaps, or at least in the way that seems best intended for you emotionally, for you to respond to situations and to feel like you're not necessarily totally biased one way or the other, that you can be impartial, but you can still be strong enough to show what the reality may be. So what emotional challenges or surprises will you face this week? And it's the Magician. And I think that Earth signs may feel really charged with the idea of taking command of their emotional life, that maybe you've been putting off saying certain things to people, that you love them, that you don't love them. Maybe you've been putting off making decisions that would affect their emotional happiness as well as yours. Maybe it's about planning a new goal. It's January and maybe it's time to think about where you want to be with the persons you care about or the persons you are most concerned about. So these are all areas of initiative that I think the Magician is under, and I'm thinking it could just also mean too that your signs probably have some new projects, and you're just crazy about where they may lead you, that these things maybe more likely involve deeply felt, goals of your own. So then finally, what will concern the romantic relationships most this week? And that's whether they are, good friends, lovers, spouses, children, co-workers, platonic friends. And we have the King of Swords. And so what may concern these guys is that maybe they too have decisions to make. Maybe they, like that Two of Swords reverse there, Maybe they may find that your decisions are spurring their own decisions too. But here's the thing. I think that with most of these guys, whether they're your primary relationship or somebody around you emotionally, the decision is for you in a way. And I think that it's how they're going to relate to you, how they're going to manage the same things that you manage with them. So if it's involvements you have vis-a-vis family or the workplace, they're going to work with you, I think, to kind of create the situations that you both agree to. So I think it's a form of problem solving based upon mutual respect for each other. To me, the King of Swords is the person who is not biased, basically. They're not judgmental. They're the person who really wants to create the proper energy to decide things and to maybe put things into the place that they belong. So I'm just going to say that for our fellow earth signs and remind them that although the week may start off with you seeing, yourself going in another direction, I'm thinking you're also going to find that the input you receive and the other challenges that are coming to you really seem to make you consider you have to work with other people too. So it's just about working with other people, but also being able to assert yourself too. These are trying times, and emotionally, I think we all have to take a step back sometimes and look at things from not just that emotional perspective, but also what's best for everyone. So I thank everybody for coming to my emotional exchanges for the week. And I hope you'll check out some of our other programming. I hope you'll like and share. See you again next week. Take care.